Hi, my name is Vuilliomenet and I created this video for an assignment in my IST 852 class called Sample Knowledge Based System. The main purpose of this assignment was to create a knowledge-based system using three environments: SQLite, Eclipse, and Python. The first step was to create tables in SQLite. Using SQL-based language, we created three tables and a fourth view table that basically combines all three other tables. For each table, we basically created the tables using basic language statements such as create table plus the name of the table, and we assigned the various variables including the primary keys. The view is basically created using statements that draw the various variables from the different tables. After executing the SQL, we basically are able to have these tables generated, as we can see there, as defined by our code. Our next step is to populate those tables, and so we create various SQL statements to insert data into those rows. What we can note here is that only the first original three tables are actually populated. Our view table is not touched in this SQL statement batch. And that is basically because our view is pulling data from the three, so we do not need to populate that view. As a result of this input, we can see that every table here is basically populated with data, and our view is actually pulling the same data from the various tables. Now that the data has been input, we're going to use Eclipse to define various rules such as the bonuses and surcharges for the system. Using Eclipse coding, we'll use statements like the def template to define groups of related or similar fields called slots, and we'll use also def rule to define our various rules. We'll also use the word salience or the code salience to determine which rule is fired first. And so each of these rules are basically written for the bonuses and the extra cost on the luxury vehicles to help us determine new values or calculate new values and place them in the tables. We then use that clip coding and we save it as a clip file, and we'll actually use Python to create a list of facts right here. So the first thing that needs to happen on Python or Jupyter, we need to basically use redetermine or reassign the address. So that was the first change that I had to make. It was to actually go into my folder to fetch the clips file. Here's a second spot as well where I make a change from the initial file that was provided. Right here again to fetch the facts file. We use Clip to define rules using the if-then statements and various variables, ranges, statements of false or if-then, false, then do this and do that. But we're going to use the Jupyter module to actually rewrite some of those calculations to make it much easier using Panda frame. So in Jupyter, we enter statements to redefine those rules accordingly for each slot or for each variable of the customer, such as base price and the age. Using Python, we have conditional statements like this one here that is easily recognizable by the if statement. And we also have for loops right here, for example, that basically cycle through data. Once those statements are completed, we file as edited, upload to Cloud, and use Python again for time changing this. As a input, this is what I get from all of the rules that were done. And this concludes my video.